And welcome to the Mike and Brad Show. I'm Mike Murray.
Hey, I'm Brad Pierce, everybody. It's good to be back. We've had a brief hiatus because, as you can see, I had to have my gallbladder removed.
Pay your debts, Brad Pierce. Pay your debts.
What happened was I saw Mike was getting all the sympathy from having to go to the hospital and have surgery, and I was jealous. I was like, oh, everybody loves you when you have surgery.
They love it.
Boom.
So yeah, sign me up, right?
So I shoved my arm into a car door and was like, that's the secret to love right there.
Trust me, people. Everybody in Brad's immediate circle have been suffering from his crying for the past 2 weeks.
Mike almost died, and I complained way more than he ever did. But I'm quitting karate. That's it. No more chopping bloods and that for me. I'm officially retired.
That's it.
But it's good to be back. We have a lot to cover. We've missed a couple weeks due to
let's get right into it.
Let's get right into it. When we left off, we asked people, because we had this mean comment on YouTube that asked if Mike had Snapple caps on his head because of his hearing aids, his cochlear implants. We asked people to enter what they think the best, what would the best thing to be written on there, and because back in the day, Snapple caps all had like a little fun fact on there. Nobody really put anything that good. Someone said farts make noise, but it was kind of lazy. So
that's real lazy.
Your last chance, if you want to say what would the Snapple fact be inside Mike's Snapple caps on the side of his head, please enter that. We're in Halloween season, Mike. We're in Halloween season. I got my Halloween Adidas shoes on. Mike likes to make fun of my shoes. These are my very, I almost said patriotic.
I saw those the other day, and I was trying to figure out what color they were.
You colorblind too?
No, it's just like it's an odd color.
It's orange.
No, they're the rust, more of a rust color.
They're orange and black.
And
they're
it's a rust.
They're rusty shoes.
That's more orange.
No, that's yellow. Anyways, so I wanted to ask you, Mike, do you have any fond memories or specific Halloween costumes you remember as a kid that was like maybe your favorite costume or something?
Well, as a kid, we usually made our own costumes back in the day.
Oh yeah, my parents would do that too because they were cheap.
Yeah, everybody was either a ghost with the sheet, right, or a hobo. Hobo was big back then. That was old school.
You just don't shower. You wear a pair of old jeans.
You wear a little stick, a little knapsack on it.
Easy.
Hobo.
These days, a lot of people are in that costume, it turns out. That's really caught on, that fashion.
And you used to make like the beard, like, and the little thing, and just kind of look dirty.
I almost ended up like that because I was really really enjoying the oxy they gave me for this. So I was one pill away from being one of those guys.
From a hobo.
Full time. Forget the costume.
Yeah, no hobo. Who did that joke?
I don't know.
There was a guy, and it was a comic who did, instead of saying no homo, he would say no hobo. I'll think of the joke, I'll tell you another time. Anywho, if you had a little bit of money, you got a better costume when we were a kid, and it was just those, like an apron, like a tie-on, and it was a plastic mask.
Dude, the plastic mask.
With slots.
And it would scratch your face, kind of.
Had that little metal thing, and you put it on, and
the band would
breathe. It was so hot when you breathe.
Well, yeah, the slit
it was like condensation.
Was this big to breathe through. You would breathe like. The slit was that big to breathe through. The sides would cut, and the band on the back would snap. It had no structural integrity. I had a He-Man one of those.
They will always break too. They always break, and then you kind of like rigged
tape
it.
them.
Yeah,
Scotch tape them.
And it was But the front part of the costume was mostly plastic, and it was almost like, like the kids get the dolls and they get the little paper and they just put them around and twist tie. It was like that.
It was very ghetto.
They were like $5.
What do you remember one you had? I had He-Man. I was He-Man one year, one of those ghetto plastic costumes.
Oh, you was?
Yes.
No,
I remember having the mask and the plastic. It had the fake muscles drawn on it.
Yeah, I always made my own, and I was always a bum.
Oh, every year.
Who would have thunk?
And now look at the success story he is today. You never thought you'd be such a rich
as an
entrepreneur.
adult, I used to be known for my costumes, and I won a couple contests with my costumes.
What was your
and I would
best
go,
one?
One year I was Elvis, fat Elvis, fat Elvis. I might add.
Later in his career.
Well, I actually had
you
my
didn't have to
mother-in-law.
tell us it was
I
the
bought
fat
a patent at like the hobby store. A patent for her, she actually made me an Elvis costume. It was white with all the rhinestones, and not only that, I had a cocker spaniel. I had a little cape for the dog.
So where
I had
is
the guitar. I had everything. I had the rings, the chains, and I was Elvis, fat Elvis, and it was perfect.
Where is his costume now?
I'll get a picture. Maybe we can upload it.
I think he should wear it on next week's episode. What's the date today? Do we have one more show before Halloween?
Speaking of which, I probably don't fit into it. I was in better shape then, and I was still fat Elvis.
He's fatter Elvis now.
But fatter, and then
fattest Elvis.
I was my wife bought me a shirt last week, and I was just sitting on the recliner the other night, and she goes, "Hey, did you try that new shirt on that I bought you?" I said, "Yeah, it doesn't fit." And she goes, "Was it too big?" And
yeah, I don't think that was the problem.
And pause. Yeah. I went,
she knows that's not
you dirty dog. I didn't say you dirty dog.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
She went just like this. Was it too big?
To her defense, you said you were going on a diet when you were in the hospital like 2 months ago, and you never did.
And my neck has grown twice the size since then.
I thought it was going to scare you straight, but it just didn't take. But on the topic of costumes, I wanted to ask you this last time, but we ran out of time. And I've had this question on my phone for Mike Murray for the viewers. Now, if you don't know out there, and maybe you're new to the Mike and Brad show, and you don't really know Mike Murray, one thing Mike Murray is world famous for, especially on his online presence, is Mike Murray hates Star Wars with a passion. He absolutely hates it. Now, I grew up on Star Wars. I like some of the films. There's a lot of nostalgia for me. I think a lot of them are trash, to be honest. I don't have super strong opinions. Like Gary Batman Boletto it's like his favorite thing in the world. So I don't have that sort of. So for me, Mike's hatred of it is very amusing. I think it's very funny. So I had this question for you.
For it too.
Yeah, because people get very sensitive.
Yeah.
So here's my question to you. I want to know how much money it would cost, like how much you'd have to be paid to every day for a month you dress as a Jedi.
Oh, I like this where it's going. I thought you said I would have to watch a Star Wars movie every day.
You have the full-on
Obi
Kenobi, the robe. You got a fake like a toy lightsaber in your belt.
That.
In your belt,
and for money,
you can't say
I can't get out of costume.
Brad paid me whatever money. No, you just have
never bring attention to it.
Never bring. And if someone's like, "Dude, like, what's with the Jedi thing?" You'd be like, "I like Star Wars.
I grew up on a moisture farm.
I believe in the Force. Yeah, that's it. So a month. That's your only. You can only wear that outfit in public, at shows, at home,
everything.
Only in bed can you take that thing off.
I'm going to double dip on this. Not only will I ask for $1 million.
$1 million for a month?
Yeah, $1 million, which is a deal. So if you're a venture capitalist out there, but here's what we're going to do to venture capitalists. Not only will I wear for a month and not bring attention to it, I will document it. We'll make a documentary on it.
Yeah, but it would have
to be awesome. I could now.
But for me, here's the thing.
If there's a camera around,
that ruins it. You just have to live your life. You go to the trophy shop.
It's worth $1 million.
You go do the comedy bus.
It's worth $1 million.
You can't draw attention to it. The only answer you can give is I'm really passionate about the Force. That's it. That you can't say.
I'll do it.
$1 million?
How much you think that's low?
Yeah, I think that's high. Like, let's say someone says, Mike, I'll give you $300,000 to dress as a Jedi for a month. You'd say no.
It's not.
All of a sudden, I cut it less than a half.
That's too high.
All right, let's keep going lower.
$300,000, still a good deal. Matter of fact, bargain basement, $100,000. And I'll hum the Star Wars theme song
you walk into the coffee shop. Dun, 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 dun.
How's it go? I don't even know how it goes.
That's the dark side.
And everything I order at every restaurant, I'll have like a thing that just scrolls up.
I'll
have a coffee, a medium coffee, and it will say And it was just, you know what I mean?
You will give me a dozen jelly donuts.
Anybody gives me a hard time, I take the sword
Yeah,
out.
the toy lightsaber.
Yeah.
So 100,000. All right, let's keep it going. What if someone offers you 80,000?
Hey.
$80,000.
I have to think about it because people might want to put me in the hospital. They'll be like, on day 5, I'll be like, this is not worth 80 grand.
Well, this could be a concern. This could be a legit concern because what if maybe people...
Why
Mike's a
are you
comedian.
talking me down? I gave my price of 1 million
yeah,
because
but
of my
that's not-
hatred of Star Wars. Now you want me to do it for a Happy Meal.
That's not... Because 1 million I knew was not your real answer. Because 1 million, yeah, anybody would say $1 million. But I knew we could get you lower. I want to see what the lowest possible
You're a good negotiator.
number. Yeah.
Because I already agreed to 80.
So here's a legit concern because Mike and I are comedians. Like maybe you keep showing up to gigs as a Jedi, no one wants to book you anymore.
Ooh.
So it could hurt you financially in the long run. So you better grab a lot
How
of
do
money.
I explain the bill at Funny Funds?
And your only answer could be a Bill. I just really like Star Wars now. I've been watching the films.
That's it.
they're
They
so
introduce me. I mean, after a while, people see me. They'll be talking behind my back saying, "What's up with Mike?"
The Jedi. Hey, it could go the other way. Maybe if you get famous, you go viral. The deaf Jedi comedian. It's like a thing. All right, so what did we land on? 80,000? Because we're going to move on.
Yeah. We'll move on, but I'm going to leave you one last tidbit. I loathe, is that the word? Loathe
Yes.
Star Wars.
That's why I'm asking.
Most of their fans, most of them.
That's why I'm asking.
I'm saying most of them because some of them are probably watching right now.
Because of Gary.
But my anniversary, I was married on guess what day?
May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
So I constantly, because I'm going to make a post about my anniversary, and then all these Star Wars nut jobs come out of the woodwork. You'll see this May 4th. Watch my wall on May 4th and how much they attack me.
Does your wife, Kathy, share your hatred for the Star Wars franchise?
She doesn't care for Star Wars at all.
But does she hate it like you or just doesn't care one way or another?
She could care less.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we landed on 80,000?
80,000, I'll do it.
so
So
if
if
any
there's
of
somebody
you
out there
guys-
with 80,000, I want half up front, non-refundable.
So if anyone's watching, you get a spare 80. You know if John Allen wins the lottery,
If he
the
had money-
first thing he's going to do is hire you to do
And I would do it. I would do it. I'll just write a book about my, how you say it, memoirs. My memoirs as a Jedi soldier.
John Allen is on
What do they
his
call
way.
these people? Jedi?
Jedi. It's a Jedi. Jedi Knight.
Oh, all right.
He's on his way right now to get a lottery ticket watching this. He is heading. He's like, I'm getting it. So John Allen and I grew up in the same neighborhood, and we used to always watch Star Wars, and we used to play with Star Wars action figures at his house. That's how much nostalgia and how it all ties together. All right, we're going to move on. We got a lot of topics.
Yeah.
I've been dying to ask you that for 2 weeks. Picture Mike Murray walking around with a Jedi costume, just strolling around
Now,
the
what's his
neighborhood.
Jedi? Is that the ragtag one or the white stormtrooper?
No, not a oh my God! A stormtrooper would be awesome. I should have rephrased this whole question. But the stormtrooper, you'd have the helmet; it would cover your head.
Yeah.
So a Jedi, basically, they're kind of boring looking. It almost looks like a bathrobe. They wear like a robe and a lightsaber.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's
like
like
a bum,
robe.
like almost like
They have like a hood. A lot of times
shepherd.
they have like a
Like
hood.
a shepherd.
Kinda like a shepherd. A stormtrooper. That's a question for another day. We can't spend the whole time on Star Wars. Another topic, we've discussed being overweight and dietal problems and Halloween, so I'm tying this all together. This is a subject brought up by my brother Jeff Pierce. The issue of early Halloween candy, which is the worst thing in the world. I don't know if your wife does this, my wife does this, Jeff's wife does this. They come home with all this candy for Halloween.
But it's gone by Halloween.
Now I'm eating candy every day. I am not, like, you know me, I'm not
I've
a big...
enjoyed your candy dish
I'm not a big
over the
sweet-
years.
It's always around Halloween time. If you come to my house any other time, there's no candy. And I'm not a big sweets guy. But if I'm watching a movie and M&Ms and Twix are
How
sitting
can
there,
you
I'm
not
gonna eat
How
it.
can you not eat 2,000 of them?
Exactly, the fun size. They're like
We don't
pills.
have any snacks or candy in my house because my wife tries to make sure I eat healthy.
Thank you, Kathy.
But
Let's keep this guy
it
around.
backfires because I'm sneaky.
You
know what I
sneak
mean?
it in.
I'm sneaky. I
You're like
sneak
a drug
candy.
addict.
I sneak candy and snacks into the house, and what I do is, like, she'll be already in, like, maybe sometimes she'll be in bed and everything. So here's the secret for you fat people out there like me that want a pro tip. So let's say I bought Oreos, okay? They're in that nice little thing that makes a lot of noise. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's a lot of noise.
Oh, yeah.
So the secret is you take them out of that. So you run the water in the sink in the kitchen and you make like you're doing the dishes, you know what I mean? And you rip that thing open and you get a Ziploc baggie. I got the gallon bag. There's a lot of
Mike
and I
Moore's like
put
a
the
heroin
cookies,
addict.
put the cookies in the Ziploc bag. So now there's
Mike's
no,
like,
and then I put them in the console of my recliner, which is, she'll be there. And if I go slow enough and don't chew as loud enough, I can get away with it. Now, some dudes
this
out
is the
there
saddest
screw
tutorial
around
I've
on
ever
their
seen.
wife and everything. Some dudes have second phones. I smuggle in
Burner.
Oreos.
He has a burner. He has a burner for Domino's.
And almost every night I got something
He's got a little
going.
flip phone. He's like, Papa Gino's.
My great attack was the other day. She was in bed. Now my bedroom is a double room, so I got like a living room part inside the bedroom too. So she'll be way over there. And then I had cheese puffs, cheese curls in the Ziploc bag. All right, in the Ziploc bag, so she couldn't hear the crunching of the thing. And she goes, "What do you got?"
Thank
She goes,
God she
"What do you
doesn't watch
got?
this."
What do you got?" And she don't have her contacts on, and I hold up the bag.
You say carrots.
That's
Baby
exactly
carrots.
what I said. I said I got carrots.
There is not a chance she believed you. Not a
There
chance.
was no chance. But from where she was sitting, it looked like I had a bag of 200 carrots.
This is the worst advice you've ever. If you have a weight problem and you're watching this
Ziploc
show,
it, sneak it in, and that's it. Just chew it soft.
this is making me feel way better about my oxy addiction. I'm suddenly I feel like a health nut. I really do.
Here's him on day 4.
Dude, it really is scary. The first day, the first couple of days, I said to my wife, I'm like, I don't really see the big
kick.
deal. I said, it makes me feel kind of weird. By day 3, I'm like,
I could use some more oxy.
yeah, this feels good. I'd be like smiling. Yeah, dude.
Like just smiling
So
about anything.
I didn't reload my prescription because I'm like, I'm in pain. I am in pain right now, as a matter of fact. My hand, but
You
I'm like,
can see- you
I'm
can
not
see how
gonna.
people get addicted to
Yeah,
it.
it's scary. It's really scary. So that covers all of the Halloween topics I wanted to ask about. Big news now. It's kind of old news now, but again, we've missed the show for 2 weeks. The local Garden City Applebee's caught on fire. Speaking of shitty food, Applebee's caught on fire. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, somebody's boneless wings caught fire in the microwave. They microwave everything. It's like, microwave choose down.
That's why it's good to
Yeah,
update your
wow.
microwave every 10 years.
Wow. Yeah, that. I hope
mean,
everybody
look.
made it out alive.
Yeah, nobody got, as
yeah.
far as I know, nobody got hurt, and that's the important thing. And look, at the end of the day, if there's going to be a local restaurant that catches on fire, isn't that best case scenario? If it's Honeydew Donuts or Applebee's, I'd rather keep the Honeydew Donuts.
It's funny. It's funny how, like, these restaurants become like comic relief and the joke, the local joke. But when they all start up, there's like everybody's gung ho and say, "Oh, this new restaurant, Applebee's.
Yeah.
Let's go check it out."
I
We
bet
used to
the
go
first
all the
one
time
was
with
good.
the kids, all the time.
When I was
And same
younger,
thing,
I'd go to
Olive
Applebee's.
Garden. If
Oh,
you're-
I still love Olive Garden. Dude, the bread and salad, it's where
That's
it's
it.
at.
Just go there for the bread and salad.
Yeah,
Like
if they got rid of that, nobody would go there.
Yeah, if they didn't have the bread and salad, yeah, they're done.
My move is I refill the salad and bread so much that I'm full by the time my meal comes. Then I take the meal home, and that's my next meal. I eat so much salad and bread that I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Wrap that up.
Well, it's the best bread is Texas Roadhouse.
Oh yeah, with
It's
the
the
cinnamon
butter. They sell that butter, you know.
Yeah, butter's good.
You can buy that butter and put it on anything now.
That's good butter. So, hey, at least it wasn't Chili's. So that's local. Here's a story from Florida. that my niece sent me. Did you hear about this guy they call Lieutenant Dan?
The who?
They called this guy in Florida Lieutenant Dan. Do you know who
Yes,
Lieutenant?
I saw
You heard about
he
Lieutenant
was the guy
Dan?
that refused to leave the hurricane, and he got in his little boat.
He's
and
an
he
old
survived.
sailboat through
He has
2
no legs.
hurricanes.
That's why they call him
well,
Lieutenant Dan.
He's got 1 leg.
All right, so he
One
hops.
leg. So he hops, which I can't imagine you swim very good with 1 leg. You know what I mean? I don't think he's Michael Phelps in the water with that 1 leg. And he seems like maybe he's on oxy
He's nuts.
and
Yeah.
Cheetos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That might be his diet.
Yeah, I think he lived on that little boat.
He
too.
does. He lives on a little sailboat. He's like, I'm not leaving my home. Stayed in this little sailboat, like Noah, through 2 hurricanes, and he survived. God bless Lieutenant Dan. I didn't know if you heard that story.
Yeah, I'm
So let me ask you this question. So you'll be a Jedi for a month for 80 grand. Let's say we got you in Florida, a little sailboat. You got to stick on that boat for 2 hurricanes. How much money you want for that? More or less than the Jedi?
way more because I could die.
I thought
I'm not going to die as a Jedi warrior.
I would have bet $5 you were going to say way less because of how much you hate Star Wars.
One, I'm not going to fit in that boat that guy had. It was tiny. I would need a bigger boat, just
All
like
right.
they say on Jaws. We're going to need a bigger
We'll
boat.
give you a boat like, let's say, almost the size of, like half the size of this room. 2 hurricanes, same premise. How much money you want?
Well, if Lieutenant Dan can survive,
I'm
I'm sure
gonna-
Mike Murray can survive.
I'm going to assume you're not an excellent swimmer. Is that correct?
I'm actually a pretty good swimmer.
And you got both your legs. What could go wrong?
No offense, Lieutenant Dan.
I don't think Lieutenant Dan's watching this right now.
Somebody's going to get it to him.
Yeah, somebody send this clip. So how much
He's gonna
money you
send
want?
a cease and desist.
Would you do it for 90,000?
Well, if I could pick the boat.
But you can't pick a freaking yacht. You can't
I'm gonna
pick
an
the
impossible
Titanic.
to sink boat.
No. You a normal boat.
No,
How
I
much?
wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it.
500,000.
Nah, I wouldn't do it.
1 million.
Nope, I can't because I think you know what I mean, my luck.
What if you can wear floaties?
See, Florida has alligators.
Oh yeah, those are horrifying.
Florida has alligators.
All right,
And without
so-
a doubt, there was alligators in the streets. Without a doubt.
I got that challenge canceled. We got 80K for Jedi.
I'm on the hook for the Jedi.
For those
So-
keeping the record. For those who are watching who have just money to burn, they're like, Mike, we're shipping you to Florida. We got a hurricane coming. Get your ass down.
There was a guy, he became famous not long ago for doing practical jokes, and it was similar to our situation. It was 2 good friends, but one was a multi-millionaire, and the other guy was just like one of us.
Okay.
So picture one of us having a rich friend, and the rich friend had.
It's hard to imagine a very rich person would hang out with me and Mike.
We would definitely be doing this. He would always bet his friend to do things. And this guy became famous for some of the bets that he did. And one of the bets, you at home watching this, and you might remember it too. The guy bet him, he says, he bet him, I think he was going to give him $1 million if he got breast implants. Breast implants, and wore them for a year.
That sounds way worse than the Jedi.
So, yeah. This dude got like C cups. He was on Letterman. He was on all the shows. Leno, everybody. It's a true story. Look it up. And it goes, I don't know how much money he got. I think it was $1 million and it was a short amount of time. He was making so much money doing interviews and everything. He kept them in.
That's crazy.
And the other bet that he did with the same guy, this is funny. I mean, this is good for the
I
show
wouldn't
here.
use the term friend in this situation if you were making me put breasts on.
He bet his friend if he got to stay in his bathroom at his house. You know, the guy had a mansion. He said, you got to stay in the bathroom for 1 month. You can't come out. All your meals, everything in his bathroom.
Dude, this guy's a sociopath.
Wait,
the guy,
wait,
it's
gets
like
better.
that's the premise of Saul.
And it was a crazy amount of money. I'm gonna say, let's call it $1 million again. I'll find out the real number. But the guy couldn't leave the bathroom. He had to stay in there.
That's crazy.
24/7 for a month, 30 days. Here's what the rich guy did. He sent a stranger into the bathroom to number 2 every hour on the hour.
Yeah, this is not.
So
a
the
fact.
guy would go into the shower and just wait for the person to leave. So
This is the premise of a horror movie. This is
can you
Saw. Have you
imagine?
seen
That
Saw?
sounds like Saw.
Yeah, that's Saw. All right. Back to the topic of unhealthy food, since that seems to be the theme of the day. Just yesterday, Vin, the bull, sent me this story. Did you hear about the Chicken Big Mac being released?
I did. I'm
Of
not
course,
interested.
who am I asking? Who am I
Why are you asking me these questions? It's almost like I got the set list ahead of time. I'm a wealth of information.
I was
Applebee's. I know it was the one in Garden City. I know the chick. All right, God.
when he sent me that last night, I was shocked. Of course, Mike's like, that's old news, Brad.
Yeah,
Mike's already had 7.
I was going through the drive-thru. I'm like, am I eating that?
I don't know why. Here's the thing. I, generally speaking, prefer chicken sandwiches over burgers. Yet, when I look at the Chicken Big Mac, it seems disgusting. Why is that?
I don't know.
Why is that so gross?
And I think it's such a hard sell too, because the Big Mac is unique and it's in its own. You see a Big Mac and you've got the 2 all-beef patties, that whole thing. It's the whole song. The Big Mac
I'm
is
familiar
2
with the
all-beef
song.
patties. Now you're gonna, all right, let's switch up. What's next? Tofu? A tofu
That
Big
sounds
Mac?
atrocious.
Yeah, exactly.
Here I am thinking I'm shocking you with these stories. Mike's already, he just had a Big Mac in the car. All right. Let's go. I'm going to go out of order here. My brother Jeff calls, and he tells me, Mom has a question for you. And I'm like, oh boy. So my mother had a question that she wants to know my opinion on, which in my entire life.
She wants us to ask the question.
No,
on
not
the
for the show.
Oh,
I don't even think
this
the
is a life question.
I don't think my mother knows this show exists, nor what I do for a living. And I can't think of a time in my life my mother has asked my opinion about something. So I was like, wow, this should be interesting.
But she went through a third party to get your opinion.
That's correct. I did not get a call, nothing.
That's Debbie all day long.
That is correct. She asked one of my brothers she likes
She will
better.
ask you a question through Facebook in a post.
Yep.
Hey, Brad.
In the comments. On an unrelated post.
That's not, yeah.
Yeah, that happens. So the question is, they're thinking about putting solar panels on their house. And you're like, what does that have to do with Brad Pierce? Well, doom and gloom, my parents, always negative. They're like, well, we're going to get these solar panels, then we're going to die. Do our kids want solar panels on the house?
My God.
And Jeff, right? What do you think Jeff said back to him, to my mom? Well, let's ask you the question. Let's say my mom asks Mike, do you think Brad would like solar panels on our house? What is his opinion on? What do you think I would say?
Brad doesn't care.
It's exactly bing, 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 bing. And the winner is, you know me so well.
Put a toaster on your roof. I don't care.
my brother was like, Mom, I'm going to go on a limb and say Brad could really care less.
I don't think he's going to give it much thought.
My only thought was, we'll talk about it on the Mike and Brad show.
Oh, my God.
I don't know anything about solar panels. I don't know if it's like it charges your electricity, but if it's cloudy out, you can't turn the lights on all day. You get no heat. I don't know how it works. I don't understand what a solar panel even does.
As soon as you said they're thinking about getting solar panels, I'm thinking, why? They're at end stages now. They're in the last lap.
Like nobody's doing them anymore? Is that what you mean?
Why no? Why were they trying to pinch and save electricity? Just come on, go on cruises, man.
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah.
See, well,
But what I'm asking you is, I actually don't know anything about the
you could
solar
save
panel
money,
phenomenon.
But again,
is that a thing?
I don't know the downside of selling the house, because when you sell the house, there are different stipulations. If somebody might not want the solar panels on the roof, and so now you're going to eliminate a lot of potential buyers. Yeah. And I believe they have to be replaced after a certain amount of time.
I'm going to just let my brothers deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's solar panels.
File that under Brad doesn't care.
Nope, that is on a long list of things I do not care about. In sports news, I don't know if you've seen this phenomenon, but Gerard Mayo What did you hear about this? Him calling his defense soft?
Yes, he got.
Not a good move, buddy. Not a good move.
Guy's 5 games in, and now he's calling out his team already.
You're taking over for the greatest coach of all time, and you're
Bill-
going to publicly. And Bill never did that.
No.
Ever.
And as bad as
Ever.
yeah, because these guys got to go to battle for you. You know what I
So-
mean? There's ways to motivate your team without talking down to them like that. I mean, you don't.
Bill's talked about it.
You know
too,
what?
publicly.
Yeah, you know what Bill would did? You know what Bill would have did?
It ream him out in the locker room.
He'd be like let's say pick a player. They're all doing bad, right?
Yeah.
On defense. He starts throwing in the young guys. You're out. Sit on
Yeah.
the bench. He starts moving pieces and figuring it out.
Did you hear what he said in response to this?
Had the same
it's
people
fun.
last
yeah,
time,
he's like, I had
yeah.
the same guys last year. They weren't soft. Our problem is we couldn't score. Our defense was
That's
fine.
the problem with being friends with the coach. Like this, for example, anytime a coach comes along and they're friends with the players, it doesn't work. Example, the Miami coach. For a couple seasons, everybody's loving him.
Well, he's also
Guess-
15 years old.
yeah, but now what's happening? They're losing.
Yeah.
That turns real fast because you can't be friends with an NFL player or any professional player at that point because number one, they're making the millions. Without that player, you're expandable. You're the guy that's only making $1 million.
Expendable.
And you
That's the
can't
word
be
he's looking
friends
for.
with them and then all of a sudden be the disciplinarian.
I love that
the
you said
guy goes out-
expandable because when you said expandable, it reminds me of Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. You can
You're always thinking
expendable.
superheroes. You're thinking superheroes all the time. Which brings us to the next thing. And Brad said, he always asks, if you could be a superhero or have a superpower, what would it be? Do you remember what we got 2 real good ones on the bus a couple weeks ago? We never heard before.
One always reminds me, but this wasn't a couple weeks ago, was the teacher who wanted to burn her students with laser eyes. That's one sticks out. But you're right, I got a
We
unique
were
one.
laughing
A
and we
really
couldn't
unique one
believe that
recently.
you got
It
that
was
one.
really
It was
funny.
the first time ever.
I
Try to
can't
think of it
remember.
maybe for the next show.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
All right, we are almost out of time. Let's just really quick because we got to go. The Menendez brothers apparently are getting let free because Kim Kardashian. I got this news today from my barber, actually. Just so that's where I get my news, the barber shop. He said because
Good sauce.
Kim Kardashian and Rosie O'Donnell got them free, which I don't understand. So Kim Kardashian shook her ass for the judge.
We're
and
not really. It was
Rosie
the
O'Donnell.
it was a Netflix series and the documentary that got Kim Kardashian and Rosie O'Donnell talking, but it was more about the people, a lot of people in general, about the documentary. They're like, they don't know whether to believe it or not, but it all comes down to they have served over 30 years, and if you committed a murder, you'd be out by now. And they
Yeah.
got life without parole. So, and they're from California where they let everybody,
Oh, yeah.
you could kill 5 people
As far
and
as
and then get probation.
As far as I know, all crime is now legal. It's the purge. California is the purge now. If you live in LA, it's a purged 365 days a year. It's the purge.
And the Menendez it was really bad timing. Like if that case actually took place right now, they probably wouldn't have got that sentence. That's where I'm thinking, they're thinking
It's like time served,
because
basically.
because OJ was happening, the Rodney King thing happened, so there was a lot of things, and they needed a victory. They needed somebody to be an example. Otherwise, nobody would have any faith in the justice system, and it just happened to be those guys because they did have a hung jury the first trial.
Oh, I know.
And then
I watched the whole series. There is not a lot of positive to say about O.J. Simpson, but I will say this.
Talk to me. Where is this going? The only person that could actually say that and get away with it would be Norm Macdonald, right? Like, so tell me about tell me how positive O.J. Simpson is. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. It's like, let's slow your roll on O.J. Let's not split hairs. All right.
He was an
So
excellent
what's the
he was
positive?
an excellent
What's the positive spin on O.J. murder?
He was an excellent chef. No, I'm just kidding. What I was going to say is he was hilarious on Twitter the last couple of years he was alive.
Yeah.
He was hilarious on Twitter.
What was hilarious about it were all the comments that would come in there.
Oh,
would
they
just-
put like knife emojis.
They literally would just, he would make a post and then the comments would be amazing.
That's all I was trying to say. Listen, we're going to have those. Hopefully, we can have the Menendez brothers on the Mike and Brad show as guests in the future. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next
Get
time.
your $80,000 up and see me. Positive.